The Seven, the heroes of the Omniverse, have gone through some ups and downs, but in the end, when all reality was threatened, they were able to unite together again to defeat the imagined order once and for all. Peace was brought back to the island, the 0 point was set free, and a reality tree sprouted on the bottom left side of the island. With no evil to stop and no war to fight, the island's inhabitants were finally at peace, or at least that's what they thought. A plant-like figure nicknamed the Bloom Watcher by the Fortnite community began observing Reality Zero and started to put her plan in motion to take over the entire island. Each week we would see roots spreading around the island like wildfire, reaching even as far as Spawn Island. Whenever one of these roots reached a POI, it began shifting it through different themes. The scientists caught on quickly to what was going on. While the island was vibing, the scientists was stressing and noticed that the 0 point kept on sending us relics, but each time it did, it caused a massive energy shockwave on the island. But then something strange occurred. The Foundation, the Visitor, the Imagine, and the Order had gone missing. Paradigm desperately tried searching for them, but in the end she found nothing. Eventually, in leaked quests, we find out that the Visitor, along with the Scientist and the Origin, were in the Scientist's underground biolab researching a strange substance spreading across the island. But then a week later, every single member of the Seven goes missing, and now the only ones left are us and Amy. Now this raises the question, what happened to the Seven and who kidnapped them? I believe I have an answer to that question, so let's not waste any more time and find out what happened to the Seven. In week 7's Vibin' story questline, Paradigm asks us for help to find the Foundation. We proceed to help her, but quickly find out that something is wrong, and we see the Foundation's helmet on the ground. Paradigm begins to worry, so she sends us on a mission to check on the Visitor if he's in his usual spot. But just like the Foundation, there was no trace of him, and we found his helmet lying on the ground. Then we went searching for the Imagine and checked to see if she was doing karaoke at her usual spot, but all we found was her blade and no trace of her. Paradigm then commences high alert security protocols and sends us on an urgent mission to find the Order. We ask 7 sentries for clues of where she might be. We're told that she hasn't been seen in weeks until we come across one sentry who saw her a few days ago. We checked her last known location, and just like the Foundation, Visitor, and Imagine, there is no trace of her, and only her wings were left behind. In leaked quest dialogue, we find out that the Paradigm finds the Scientist, the Origin, and the Visitor in the Scientist's underground biolab, and there he is researching a strange substance that is spreading across the island. We can already see some of this substance appearing on Spawn Island. It has an oily, gooey look with a black chromatic color to it, and according to some leaks, it may be called Reality Sap. So let's call it that for the rest of the video. Moving on, we help the Paradigm collect the 7 gear to bring to the lab, but then once she returns, everyone is missing and an audio recording is left for her from the Scientist.
Paradigm, if you're listening to this, it means I'm gone. I don't know where they took me, and I don't know if I'll be back. I promised we'd never leave you alone again, and I promised freeing the 0 point would be safe. Everything's my fault, so whatever happens to me, I deserve it. I programmed Amy to take care of you and whoever's left. I hope there are people left. I'm sorry it ended like this. I've always...
Knowing she's the final member of the 7 remaining on the island, the Paradigm urgently asks us and Amy for help to find the Scientist's research notes. We eventually find them, and Paradigm rushes to the research notes, discovering that the 0 point was trying to communicate with us, and those 0 point energy shockwaves were actually flares, a galactic distress signal according to the Scientist. This explains why the flares were beginning to be detectable from light years away. The 7 weren't catching on to the situation fast enough, so the 0 point had to ask for help from someone else that may have been farther away. Eventually, Paradigm goes missing as well, but a few days ago we got to see a teaser unintentionally leaked on the Nintendo eShop, and you can see Paradigm reaching out for help while being drowned in this goo-like substance, or like I said previously, Reality Sap. But it turns out that this was foreshadowed all the way at the start of Season 3. If you take a look at Malik's backbling, you can see a hand reaching out for help, and it looks very similar to the leaked Season 4 teaser. And the monster being destroyed by the Griffin looks a lot like the monster seen in Dr. Sloan's loading screen. So perhaps we will see that monster have a big influence on the Fortnite storyline soon. Now this leads me to my theory and what happened with the 7. So I personally believe that the plant-like figure, or the Bloom Watcher, is behind all of this. Over the course of the season, we've watched her take over the island along with Spawn Island, with the reality roots shifting POIs into different versions of themselves. Now, I personally believe with these reality roots all over the island, she made the roots drop this reality sap, and it was able to move around, so it eventually got to each member of the Seven and kidnapped them. But where would they be? In a prison, dead? I think that they are in a mirror dimension, sort of how it works in Doctor Strange, or an in-between like place. Back when the Federa crew pack came out, her loading screen showed two sides mirroring one another and made out of a goo-like substance. And currently on Spawn Island, where the goo or reality sap puddles are, there are footprints that match the outsole of Federa's boots. So I have a feeling that she has some sort of connection to the disappearance of the Seven. I mean, her description does say she is a dark sea witch with unknowable power. Or maybe her set was made just to foreshadow what is to come. But whether she is working for someone or by herself, I do not know. Nevertheless, I have a feeling the Seven may be trapped in this goo dimension place, but not together. They're most likely separated. Hopefully, in tomorrow's version 21.51 update, we will find out more about what happened with the Seven and what's going on with this whole reality sap / goose stuff. If you guys have made it this far, please consider subscribing if you enjoy these Fortnite storyline videos. A like is appreciated, and please consider using my code Rezztro in the item shop. That would be awesome. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Take care.